Well, students are allegedly cheating their way through college. At least that's the claim in a recent article by New York Magazine, really focusing on the rise of college students using AI to complete their assignments. And the Wall Street Journal has profiled a high school student who says she used AI to do her schoolwork. Well, we are now joined by Dr. Brian Green, who teaches AI ethics in Santa Clara University's Graduate School of Engineering. Dr. Green, thank you so much for joining us. Can we start out by, you sharing your experience with the rise of AI doing coursework for college students?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on the show. I've been teaching engineering to graduate students for over 10 years now. And in the last couple of years, I noticed that when ChatGPT was released, I immediately thought to myself, I can't assign essays anymore. I have to figure out some other way to evaluate their work because the potential for cheating had just become too high.
Well, many fear that students aren't even retaining or learning and that they're going to, not know what they need to for their future careers, as well as losing out on exercising their critical thinking skills. So tell us more about the negative impact that using AI really has on a student's education.
Yeah, that's exactly a concern. There's the potential here for short-circuiting the educational process, really, where a student is supposed to produce an assignment. That product is supposed to be used then to evaluate their work. And by going through the process, this is the way I like to think about it, is process, product, and person. That person, that student, is supposed to understand a process which is then evaluated by a product, which is the learning essay or outcome, whatever is evaluated by the teacher. If the process is then done by an AI and the product comes out as an AI product, the student hasn't done anything. All they've done is learn how to use the AI, not how to actually become the kind of person who can produce the sorts of things that we want them to produce, whether it's something that's very thoughtful in terms of an essay and how to write those sorts of things, or any other sort of thing that we might see the AI being used for. And it's becoming more and more capable all the time.
And we understand that some teachers are actually going back to giving assignments that are, done on paper or demanding students make rough drafts or write their assignment using, programs that actually detect AI or use chronological detections to show a whole paper was cut and pasted within seconds. So how are professors and teachers adjusting to, sort of fight back?
Yeah, this is the really key question. One of the things that I did is I started giving my students exams just by talking to them. So I have what I call a conversation exam. I talk with them for 10 minutes, either before or after class. I can do this because I only have 30 students in a class. It's not very easy to do if you have 200 students, but you learn very quickly whether they've learned the material just by talking to them. So in my case, I could move away from one sort of evaluation to another sort of evaluation. Not every teacher can do that. If your job is to teach writing to students, then you have to figure out some way to actually measure their writing, whether that means writing it in class or it means just monitoring the process all the way from brainstorming through outlining and through all those things. If you go through a very structured process of writing, that's one way to make sure the student is still learning it. But once again, with the technology developing as quickly as it is, and a lot of the times the incentives in education are just not aligned properly, so that the student really feels like all they want is the grade and not the actual learning. As long as the goal is the grade and not the learning, then cheating with AI is always going to be a risk.
Well, what, if any, are the AI companies offering to help educators?
So there have been a few attempts. So early when ChatGPT came out, they tried to come up with a detector for AI to see if you could look in a writing assignment and determine whether it was written by AI or not. Those are not effective. The original one was not effective. The ones that have followed up after that are not particularly effective. Um, just the human eye and judgment can sometimes detect it, but not always. Some professors have tried putting things into assignment like a hidden word or something like that, and so if the student just puts the prompt in and then gets a reply back from the machine, then it might have that hidden word somehow prominently within the writing output. But overall, the companies are just not helping as much education really needs them to. And this kind of short circuiting of the educational process is really damaging to education right now.
All right. Well, Dr. Green, thank you so much for taking the time and sharing your insight. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you so much.